and welcome to Chicago Style Eats, the show where we talk about and sample tasty foods invented in Chicago. I'm Tony.
And I'm Stephanie. For today's episode, we tried rib tips, the gnarly, delicious ends cut off of a rack of smoked St. Louis spare ribs. The end cuts are considered by some cooks as junk, but on the south side of Chicago, these tips are barbecue gold. They are smoked in metal pits inside tempered glass chambers that have the appearance of an aquarium.
It's not known who served the first rib tips, but there is a history of African Americans finding ways to make the best of the discarded cuts, much like Italians cook offal in Italy. Rib tips are trimmed off by butchers in an effort to make the rack of spare ribs more symmetrical. In the book, The Birth of Rib Tips is credited to Miles Lemons, who came to Chicago in the 1940s with his brother Bruce from Indianola, Mississippi. In 1954, the two Lemons brothers opened a barbecue house called Lem's at 59th and State Streets. The brothers decided to smoke the rib tips to see what would come of them. Originally, the rib tips were served just to staff, but they were so good they became a menu item, served over French fries, dipped in sauce with one or two slices of white bread on top. They refer to the sauce as mild sauce, but it is a spicier version of the mild sauce we presented in a previous episode.
But the Lemons' story goes back even further. The Lemons' father, William, was a slave in Alabama working the lemon orchards. During Reconstruction, the surnames of former slaves were often connected to their experiences as a slave, hence the last name Lemons. As a slave, William's slave master held large parties serving roast pig. The slaves dug holes, built fires with wood, and barbecued pigs in these pits to serve the partygoers. William spiced the pig and made the sauce to serve over the pig meat. William married Anna, a Louisiana Creole woman of African descent, and passed on his recipe for the seasoning and sauce used in many of their family dishes. Anna taught her sons how to cook and passed on the spice and sauce recipes, which they used when they migrated to Chicago and opened their barbecue restaurants. As time passed and another brother, James, showed his strong work ethic, a third barbecue house was opened at the current location of 311 East 75th Street in the Chatham neighborhood. Known as Chicago's Barbecue King, Lem's achieved great success from 1968 until James's death in 2015. His daughter Carmen now holds the reins of the barbecue house, continuing the tradition of barbecue success.
The story behind the rib tips is the method of smoking them in the aquarium-like apparatus over charcoal and hickory wood. This is a dying art of knowing when to hose down the fire a bit or move pieces to a different level within the smoker. This requires someone to monitor the racks of ribs and move them around by instinct. The Lemons family are trying to keep this culinary art form alive, even offering franchise opportunities.
So we went to Lem's, obviously, and Tony sampled the rib tips because I'm not really much into gnarly cartilage and fat on my ribs. So we got a bucket of the rib tips, and Tony ate and is still eating them.
Yes, the bucket was quite a bit larger than we anticipated, but yeah, it's a couple pounds of meat after cooking, and but they're very good. They're not as tender and juicy as we like our ribs. But these are St. Louis ribs, so they're a little bit chewy, a little bit more tough. Good smoke flavor. They didn't go crazy on the sauce. That's good. Good stuff.
I sampled the sauce with some fried chicken, and the sauce is definitely spicier than the mild sauce from a previous episode. And it just had a different kind of tang to it. But you can get Lem's seasoning. You can purchase it and make your own ribs if you want. And then, of course, if you want to try creating an aquarium to smoke them in. The aquarium that they have had to be about 8 feet long.
Oh yeah, it was big.
At least, maybe even 10 feet long, and about 3 feet high, and probably about 3 feet deep.
Yeah, maybe even taller. It was
Yeah,
pretty big.
and it had the sliding doors, and so the aquarium master, the pit master, would slide the doors and move things around, and then when they were ready, they'd grab a rack and throw it over on the counter for
Literally
throw it over.
We didn't manage to get video of that, but it was pretty entertaining. The
was
dude
fun.
would reach in with the tongs, turn and fling, and like, oh.
Yeah, and they also smoke their lynx inside that
Yeah.
aquarium apparatus.
And yeah, and just, I want to make it clear, it's not an actual aquarium. It just has the look because it's glass sides, and it's got the restaurant hood over it to pull the smoke out, pull the smoke through.
But they're using the original aquarium from 1954 when they opened the spot at the current location.
And the thing, it's a small location. They don't have any seating inside, and it's very busy, very popular, and so very busy. And just anticipate a long wait. They're cooking, the ribs and whatnot come off when they're ready. It's not like they throw it on, for your order, because they're smoking all day. But other items, like if you get the chicken, they fry it to order. So you're gonna wait for that. So yeah, the line kind of wraps around the building. You go inside, and then they take your order. And I think.
And then you wait.
Yeah, I think anything that's.
If you get chicken, you wait.
Yeah, anything that's smoked. So the rib tips, ribs, other things, the links, you'll get those fairly quickly after you order. But if you order the chicken, you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
They're making it fresh, which is a really good thing.
Yeah. So we got there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, waited in line outside for about an hour, and then waited inside for probably another 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes before we got our food and left.
So and we're not saying that as a negative.
No.
It's just
don't think you're
just
going to
the
walk
expectation. Like if you go to a fancy restaurant and you sit down and you order, it's going to take some time, especially if you order something that's a little bit exotic. So the only difference here is you're standing. So if you're not ready to be standing for a long time, then it's probably not your place to go, or order it ahead. I think they do that.
I don't think they do.
No, maybe you don't.
They do.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so where to get rib tips? Lem's Barbecue, 311 East 75th Street. Alice's Barbecue, 65 East 43rd Street. And Honey One Barbecue, 746 East 43rd Street. So go to one of these places, try some rib tips, and enjoy.
On the next episode of Chicago Style Eats.
Today we tend to think of seafood with butter and garlic as a natural combination, but somebody somewhere had to be the first to put these things together. 3 brothers from Belgium just happened to bring the combination to, you guessed it, the 1893 Chicago World's Columbian Exposition.
Their food was such a hit that the brothers decided to stay in Chicago. The brothers opened the Dijon Hotel and Restaurant at 12 East Monroe in the Loop. The dish that bears the name of the brothers and their hotel enterprise has lived on as a Chicago culinary icon. If you like this episode, click the thumbs up icon below. Don't like it? Let us know in the comments what might make it better. Want to see more Chicago Style Eats? Click the subscribe button below so you can get an alert each time we drop a new episode. Don't know what the heck we're doing? Click on the end screen or the link in the description below to see our intro video. Thanks for watching.